Welcome back. This week, Houston will draw the eyes of the nation as 10 Democratic presidential contenders gather at Texas Southern University for the DNC's third high-profile debate. While much could be said about this evolving field, in my eyes, it boils down to frontrunner Joe Biden representing the moderate wing of the party versus a pack of pursuers, nearly all of whom lean much harder to the left, including Texans Julian Castro and Beto O'Rourke. Question now, who will emerge Thursday night in a position of strength and who will limp to the sideline for good? Tony, who are you cheering for?
Well, I am Team Julian, and you go to julianforthefuture.com to find out more about his stances. He's been very bold, very articulate, but I'm going to be real. At this particular debate, Julian's got to come in and hit a grand slam to really be a player as this continues. We've narrowed it down to 10 people on stage, so it's just one night. I really think he's got to come in strong. And I don't like this perception that it's this radical left-wing team, because it's not. I got ideas that I could give him that would be even more inspirational. But I want to make something clear. At one point when Bernie Sanders was talking about free college, it sounded outlandish. Now Texas has many institutions that are given exactly that, free college. I love that it is the Democratic Party that is making these issues important and viable. And I'll also add this. I'm proud of Julian Castro, the only Chicano running for president who's been standing up for bold issues such as reparations and talking about things profoundly. So I think we're going to have a great debate, no name calling, no silly nicknames, and we're going to have real policy that's changing the lives of workers as well as everyone across the board.
Okay, Charles Blaine, I know the Republicans are hoping the more progressive the emerging nominee is, the better for them. What's your take on this upcoming debate?
Yeah, well, to respond to Tony, Julian can keep his reparations because I don't want them. So he can give them to someone else maybe.
But you're not going to vote for Julian anyway.
I'm just a little distraught that H-Town favorite, Houston's own Marianne Williamson, won't be on the stage. But truly, I think that Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren are probably going to shine this week. I think, I wrote something yesterday that said that at the Iowa Democratic convention over the weekend, Biden, it was like a lackluster response to him. They weren't too excited about it. His age, the recent gaffes have all kind of been in his way. He can't get out of his own way. So I really think that we're going to kind of see some shifts this week. And I think Kamala's really going to take it. And I'm excited to see her. I like some of her perspectives on different issues, especially criminal justice reform. So looking forward to see what she has to bring this week.
Anthony Graves, what do you want to hear out of these 10 Democrats? What's been missing in the conversation?
Well, I mean, I definitely want to hear more about criminal justice reform. I think that they always just stick their toe in there and see how people are going to respond to it. But they're not really talking about any serious issues when it comes to reform. And we have a big criminal justice issue. We're always talking about background checks. We're talking about discovery. We're talking about transparency. But we've gotten away from talking about wrongful convictions. So I want to hear them talk more about wrongful convictions and what are they going to do to address that.
Okay, Wayno, as you see this crew move into the Bayou City, what can we anticipate? What are you looking for?
Free Stuff Friday. That's what they call it on TV, right? I heard one of the TV stations has this Free Stuff Friday. I don't know which one it is, don't care. Except that's what the Democrats are, right? It's like free stuff, right? Let's give everybody everything free instead of like the whole idea of actually working for it and getting it. And I'm sorry, I just think that is the silliest thing ever.
Okay. Carmen Rove, I don't know how you follow that.
I don't either. I'm going to shift.
Go with something logical.
So personally, what I want to see is whether this is going to be Joe Biden's ending or beginning. I think that his electability is what makes him appealing to most people. He's been the standout. Everybody kind of assumes he's going to be at the front or be the most competitive of all of the people. But a lot of the stuff that's been happening leading up to these debates is problematic. And I think this is one of the smallest debates we're going to see. So you get more individual attention. So all eyes are going to be on Joe as far as I'm concerned.
Honestly, I don't know who's going to emerge out of this pack to challenge Biden. But if they are more to the left, I know that it's going to be problematic for the Democrats with some moderate voters. I mean, Michelle, do you agree?
Yes, of course. I mean, there's this continuous shift to the crazy left. And I think that this is Joe Biden's to lose. I mean, he has got this weird little smorgasbord of opponents that just say the craziest things. I mean, you've got Warren saying, I'm going to shut down all nuclear power plants. Okay, well, there's no science behind that. And then you've got Bernie Sanders saying population control. Just don't say anything crazy, Biden, which has proven tough for him, and this is his to lose.
Okay, Wayne, give me a prediction.
Prediction is I will enjoy myself watching people promise things that don't make any sense and cost too much money. But I think Biden's going to falter. I said that 4 months ago, and I think the Democrats are in trouble because they're going to be stuck with the socialists and the commies and everybody else. And I think they're in trouble because of that. I think Biden is going to falter. When you call Donald Trump Donald Hump, you could laugh it off, but he says it every day. He says something kind of weird. Sorry.
Okay, Charles, who gets called after this? I mean, who falls to the wayside?
I mean, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Andrew Yang. I'm surprised that he's lasted this long and has, withstood so many of these, I can't even remember all the candidates who dropped out at this point, but he's still standing. And what's interesting, though, is that I've heard conservatives who like Andrew Yang. So I don't think that that's going to sell well in the Democratic primary, especially when they're calling for things like the end of fossil fuels and, like we said, reparations and free college tuition. And he's not, I mean, yeah, sure, he's got his universal basic income, but other than that, he's not really in line with what the base, I think, is looking for. So I see him faltering after this and falling off.
Okay, your second string Texan, Beto O'Rourke, does he have a shot?
No.
I think he does. I really want to see someone step up and take the next step and show that they are a clear leader in this. But I will say this. One, to paraphrase Cesar Chavez, I can't be a socialist because I'm a Catholic. And additionally, here's really what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about everybody who's hungry. I'm worried about Biden feeling entitled. And what that hurt, the way that hurt Hillary, I think, is where if you think you're entitled, you might not study that extra hour. You might sleep an extra hour. You might not go to Michigan. And that's my only concern, is that he's not hungry enough. I like everyone on the bench. I want to make something clear. Whichever person is the Democratic candidate I will vote for, I will block walk, I will sell tamales for.
Okay, Carmen Rove, you've been before juries. And in this case, the jury is the American public. What do they need to do to close the deal? What does the Democratic nominee have to do to close the deal?
For me, or for what I think the general public is looking for, is, a little less of the extreme. I don't know if I would say it's crazy, but free college, do we need it? No. What we need is real reform dealing with colleges and people being able to have access to them. So there's no real moderate or middle ground coming from any of these candidates. And I think that's what they need to hear to feel like we can actually be comfortable with this leader going forward for the next 4 years.
Okay, great discussion. Still ahead, voting in the Harris County Jail. The reform recently approved by Judge Lina Hidalgo and company is set to take effect, or is it? The latest development is on our table after the break.